What is it that you have created for these farmers?
They also had the similar question. Do you really believe that a farmer will wear your shoe?
The way you are describing it kind of makes me feel to start trying one as early as tomorrow.
Laborer was using axe. It slipped from the wood and landed on the foot, but nothing happened to it.
Oh, really?
Nothing.
Oh, wow.
It did not go through. These kind of falls make us work even more.
What is your vision?
Impact at least 1 million farmer in the next 10 years.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Sit with Suraj. In this episode, let's see what 3 students from the National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, are up to by solving a very important problem for farmers. Welcome to the show, Nakul.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here. I'm Nakul, co-founder of Earthen Designs. Me and 3 of my co-founders, Santosh and Vidyadhar, studied at National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. All of us were very much interested and passionate about designing cars. All of us wanted to get into Lamborghinis and Ferraris to design the next supercar. However, during our education, we realized that design has a power to change the world. It was during a time when Santosh was working on one of the wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, and he saw that how a designer can change and bring about a change in the user's life.
So again, this was not the first venture per se. I mean, you dabbled with a design in something else, and then eventually came to designing shoes. So before we jump to shoes, would you want to narrate that story? I mean, how did that evolve from being designing something else to various different hops, if they were, and then shoe design?
After graduation, Santosh was working with one of the wheelchair startups in Mumbai. That startup was incubated at Ep.8, and they were designing electric wheelchair.
Electric wheelchair.
Electric wheelchair. His goal was to create most affordable wheelchair in India, and along with that, it has to be repairable here. So he created that using cycle parts, and he got a huge order from government of Maharashtra. He as in his startup, and during that time, he and we also contributed in between wherever he was facing challenges. So we saw that during design, by just implementing design principles, he could bring about a change in the entire wheelchair industry. However, the other wheelchairs that were imported from China were costing around 1.5 lakh rupees. His wheelchair could be sold in market for 30 to 40,000 rupees only.
Wow.
For the farmers.
Wow.
During that time, I was working with another company in Portugal designing their EVs, and with other was working with Railway Design Center. But while we discussed our ideas, what could be done, we thought that our true potential lies in coming together and designing something for the Indian market, where design actually can bring about an impact.
Wow. And so you quit your jobs.
So yeah, during that time we decided we quit our jobs. We told our parents. They were initially happy and skeptical both at the same time.
Absolutely. Understandable.
And during this time we settled here in Hyderabad. We did not know what to do. Just that we had this idea that we'll do something for the users. Not knowing what user needs, we went to the villages. Being from the design background, we have this understanding that we cannot design for someone without knowing their life.
Correct.
Thoroughly.
Correct.
So we went into the villages, stayed with them for 6 months, 6 to 8 months, looked at their daily lives, their daily struggles, and we did not think that we'll start with designing shoes for the farmers directly. We saw their struggles in agriculture, education, healthcare, and it was a time when there were a lot of farmer suicides happening. There was a drought season a couple of years back, and already there were a lot of problems associated with the community. And when we went to the villages, we saw that there are a lot of problems, and we didn't where to focus on. That is when we decided, okay, farming sector is the most neglected one. There are people doing something for the others, but farming is something that nobody is interested in because the user itself is unable to pay back. That's when we decided that let us do something in the agriculture. Again, not knowing what to do, we found about 30 odd problems. So during that time, we talked to the farmers as well as government agencies.
Okay.
Because we see that there is this tussle between both these things, both of them blaming each other. Out of these 20-30 problems, we discussed all these problems with them only.
Okay.
Everyone. We discussed, do you really have this problem? What can we do with this? Out of these problems, shoe was one of the thing. And this came during a time when we visited Baramati, a lush green area in the middle of a desert kind of place. There, one of our friend's brother, he was as young as us, but at the same time he was pursuing his career in agriculture.
Okay.
When we talked to him, he told us a lot of interesting things. One of that was shoes. We just asked, don't you use shoes? Don't these guys use shoes? He said,
Shoes as in while
any
farming.
footwear, while farming.
Okay.
And he said, there is nothing made for this. There are gumboots. Government gives gumboots every couple of years for free, but they're extremely uncomfortable. Then we went into deep to find out why gumboots are like that. To find out that they are actually a Western concept, and to wear them comfortably, you need to wear denims, which no Indian farmer will do.
Correct.
So
you wear denim, and over that you wear these gum boots
Yes.
that come all the way till.
so whenever someone wears a gumboot, there is a lateral motion. It is very loose fit. To make it snug, they usually wear denims. It's an English concept, and forced directly onto us, and which is very uncomfortable. We thought, let us make something for them. But prior to that, we also tried using whatever they were using. So we went into the monsoons, because monsoons is one of the toughest season to work in. We bought whatever is available in the market, the leather chappals to Kolhapuris to slippers, and we tried walking with them, behind them, in the fields. It was extremely difficult. Part of the problem was being the mud accumulation, lateral motion of the foot slips down the footwear. Most of the footwear are open type, like chappals. It is uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable to use, and they break also.
Okay.
Very frequently. After we observed that, we came up with the problem statement saying a farmer's footwear need to be all weather, all terrain. It should be used in and outside the field. Why? Because most of the farmers were using their footwear till the embankments. They were leaving it there, and within the field they were walking barefoot. And third, it has to be lightweight. Problem with gumboot was it wasn't lightweight. So it became very uncomfortable.
Super. I mean, it is so fascinating to think of how you actually went about not solving the problem, but identifying a problem. I mean, from living in those rural settings to be able to identify problems, brainstorming, I'm pretty sure a lot of background work would have gone in that. So now let's come to the solution. What is it that you have created for these farmers?
So when we got this problem statement, we did not jump directly onto the conventional materials, because they were facing this problem because there is something lacking. If we had gone directly to the plastics, we would have ended up at the same place. Rather, we went, and we have this understanding that for every local problem there must be a local solution.
True.
And when we went around, we saw around 20 natural fibers, out of which none of them worked, because it had to be water resistant, or rather it had to be usable in the water. Most of the natural materials tend to fall apart when they are submerged in water. Wool is one such material which works, and that's when I'll just go back here. We were finding a lot of other materials, but none of them were working, which was very disheartening. At the time, one shepherd told us that you go to this place, you'll find this material, and you know what, it is water resistant also. And he said that it is wool. We did not believe it at first, because wool, knowingly, it can only be used in winters, and
True.
How can it be water resistant? We went to a rural village in Maharashtra, not knowing again it was a Naxal area. We somehow went and later got to know that. But that shepherd put the blanket on top of my head and poured water, and not even a single drop went in. And he said, see, this blankets have have been used by shepherd communities for ages now.
Right.
It's 1500-year-old craft, and they have been using this in rainy season.
1500.
1500-year-old craft.
Wow.
And they have been using it in rainy season also.
Mm.
So there is a saying in Telugu that rain so heavy, it rained so heavy that even it drenched Gongadi.
Gongadi is the
Gongadi is the name of the blanket. So that was our first interaction with the Gongadi. And later we started working on the shoe part. And
so you arrived at the fabric.
Yes.
And then the design of the shoe.
During this time, there were a lot of challenges because internally also there were a lot of struggles and stigmas associated with this footwear. Nobody wanted to work with the footwear. Even though it is just a tailoring job, none of the tailor wanted to work on that. Although it didn't even look like a shoe back then. It was just a fabric stitched.
Okay.
So, and when we went to the this pastoral communities are the shepherd communities who are rearing the sheep. When we went to them, and they were very reluctant to work on this, saying that this is very sacred for them, and they did not want to do anything with the footwear. We struggled a lot, but that was the time when me and Vidyadhar started actually stitching, learning how to crochet, trying to make shoe out of that fabric and that yarn.
So where is it now? I mean, how has the design evolved? I mean,
So this is our shoe. It's called as Yar.
Called as?
Yar.
Yar.
Yar. Okay. It's like a friend.
Correct.
Friend for the farmer. Wherever he goes, it'll follow. It'll be with it, with him, him or her. This material that you can see is the Gongadi, and this is water resistant, lightweight, and extremely durable. To put it into perspective, a typical footwear that a farmer uses lasts for 2 months, 2-3 months. This lasts for 1.5 years in the similar conditions.
Okay. I mean, rough conditions, rough and tough use.
Yeah, in and out of outside of the field.
Okay.
Wherever you use it, it lasted for at least 1.5 years.
Okay, got it. So, on one hand, you're solving this problem, but on your website, I see there are shoes that any consumer can pick up. So, what about those shoes? I mean, what's the story behind?
So, when we were designing this, there were a lot of queries from the urban user also. Why don't you make this for us? And during that time, something clicked. We remembered one of the concepts that was taught to us in design. It's called as inclusive design, which means anything you make for the least privileged one, it will be a luxury for someone above it. So we used a similar design and created a shoe for the urban India.
Wow.
So here what changed was the material. It is slightly softer to suit the urban needs, and also this could be used for trekking, in daily wear. It is water resistant, so can be used for office, anywhere.
Wow, fantastic.
So with this, and again, why we came with this was to subsidize the farmer shoe.
Yeah, I was kind of coming to that because every social enterprise needs that. You have a main product, you do what you do, but for keeping the business alive, I mean, business sustainable, you need another revenue source. So I think that's a great add-on. That's a great add-on.
Part of the profit goes back to subsidizing the farmer's shoe.
Got it. Well played there. So my question, I mean, sitting here as an urban audience, it kind of feels, thinking of a farmer in a field, do they really want to use shoes, right? I mean, the general perception is you imagine a farmer walking barefoot in the fields to feel Mother Earth. Those kind of emotions kind of come through. What is your take on that? I mean,
right. So generally we have this notion that if you are in touch with the Mother Earth, it's good for your health. For a lot of farmers, it's like the goddess that they're entering into the field. However, current farming scenario is not like what was there. Now with the advent of tractors and chemical farming, the soil has become extremely hard. It's so hard that in some of the seasons you cannot even walk in it. There are thorns. There are after the harvest season, the leftovers, the stubble, is very dangerous to walk in. And for the community that we are catering to, even a single injury can lead to a loss of daily wage.
Livelihood.
Yeah.
True.
So basic protection is everyone's right.
Absolutely.
So that's where we feel that, and again, we did not came up with we did not come up with this idea by ourselves. We asked farmers, do you really, would you use it? Even when we were incubated at IIT Madras, they also had the similar question. Do you really believe that a farmer will wear your shoe? And they gave us challenge. You have 30 days, go sell your shoes. We went farm to farm to sell our shoes, and we at that time we had only 30 shoes, but it sold out in three days.
All right. So now we know that there is good demand, or there is a need for these shoes. What about affordability? I mean, how do you tackle that? How affordable is this, and how do you tackle that?
This is one of the question that is often asked, even on our Instagram. Interestingly, all the footwear that the farmer uses lasts for 1.5 month only.
Okay.
Even the plastic shoes, they last for 3 months, and they're spending 100 to 200 rupees for each footwear. That accumulates to 750 to 1,000 rupees a year.
A year.
Which is more than a farmer should be spending on footwear, which is equal to what urban users spends on its footwear.
Correct.
So that way we are offering a solution which is cost effective, which in long term our shoe lasts for 1.5 years easily in these conditions, and we are giving a solution which is saving cost, first of all. Secondly, everyone assumes that a farmer is a strata in which all of the farmers are poor. However, there are segments in that. There are premium and middle income farmers. We are targeting those as of now. But to make it more affordable to the laborer class, we are subsidizing these with the help of CSR funds.
Got it. But again, if you were to put a price point as to what would one cost for a farmer, how much would that be?
So if a farmer is buying online through our website, he is getting it at around 1,000 rupees.
Okay.
But at the same shoe, we are able to give it to a laborer or a poor farmer at about 100 rupees with the help of CSR.
With the help of CSR.
Yeah.
Got it. And again, purely from somebody who's sitting in the urban area here and then thinking wool. Wool means you typically use that in winter. A lot of heat associated in the fields during summer, and then over that wearing something that is made of wool. I mean, I'm not able to kind of think around how farmers can still be able to use that during summers. How did you address that?
So interestingly, the wool that we have been seeing in the market is all plastic based. It's acrylic wool. Pure wool, however, has insulating properties. It keeps you warmer in winters. However, it keeps you cooler also in summer.
Okay.
It insulates your foot from outside heat and keeps it cooler in effect. And it is water resistant also. That way, the wool can be used all throughout the year. Also, India has one of the largest population of the sheep in the world. However, most of our wool is being thrown out because of lack of understanding about the wool. So it has a lot of properties which do not sound believable at first, but at the same time they are there. It is water resistant. It's water resistant, or it's moisture wickerability. It does not let the sweat form, so you can wear these shoes without sock as well, and they won't smell.
Okay.
Because it's antifungal and naturally. We are not adding any chemical, any spray on top. So
wow.
That way it makes a perfectly good solution for any user rather.
Okay. I mean, kind of makes sense. I'm only thinking, what if water seeps in? I mean, through other outlets. I mean, generally, if water goes out, how do you handle those kind of scenarios?
So in light rain or a drizzle, water won't go in.
Okay.
And if you drench it completely, if you submerge it in water, water will go in. So we made this because even if you see gumboots, you cannot stop water from going in, because there will be a chance, there will be a point when the water goes in, and that time it becomes more uncomfortable because water cannot get out. However, in the field, water we have made sure that water will go in. However, it will come also out very quickly, and it dries extremely quickly. It's just like our hair. It dries so fast, you don't need to do much. And even though if it is wet, it will still retain most of its properties about the insulation.
Got it.
So wet wool also keeps you warmer than a.
I mean, the way you are describing it kind of makes me feel to start trying one as early as tomorrow. So, I mean, thanks for doing what you're doing. I generally wanted to touch upon, I mean, you mentioned about CSR being a part of your journey as well. Now, how do you make sure that working with CSRs, these shoes kind of reach the end beneficiaries?
So during our initial production, we made this available on our website, and later to found out that lot of the most of the urban customers also were getting the benefit of this subsidy, and they were buying the cheaper farmer shoe to be used in urban scenario. Then we realized that we need a partner who can identify the actual end user, and then we partnered with Vikasa, which is based out of Araku, and then CSS, Center for Sustainable Agriculture.
Okay.
They have around 55,000 farmers, both of them collectively, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana together. And with the help of them, they are able to identify the end user who is actually in need. And with the help of the CSR funds, we are subsidizing that and giving them to as less as 100 rupees.
Got it. Got it. So I think now I understand, and hopefully the viewers also understand what you have been doing in the agriculture space. The most important question: how's been your journey? The personal side of it, the professional side of it.
It's interesting. One thing that we have seen is it keeps you wake up every time.
Correct.
Every day. During our initial journey, when we went to one of the village, in my village only, we started with my village. There was one old person. I did not know him. Probably he knew one of our ancestors, but he was talking to me with a lot of love and affection, saying, "Now you guys have grown up. You have moved out of your hometown, but you don't know the value of this farming. But it's good that at least you have come back to this." And the way he told us was inspiring. And after that, now also we get a lot of calls from our customers saying, somebody said that his laborer was using axe. It slipped from the wood and landed on the foot, but nothing happened to him.
Oh, really?
Nothing.
Oh, wow.
It did not go through. And these kind of calls make us work even more. It's inspiring. Yes, it is definitely tough, especially financially, to continue our journey in the social entrepreneurship, because not a lot of people will get why we are doing this.
Correct.
People consider social entrepreneurship with the NGO, but there is a slight difference. When you give something for free, it has no meaning for the end user. However, when you make business with them, be it as less as 100 rupees, it makes them care for the product and look at the product differently.
Correct.
That's where we thought we'll never go. We don't want to be in that NGO mindset. Rather, we want to sell a product, and customers are coming back. There are a lot of repeat orders, which is
which is good to actually know. So there are wanting or vulnerable social entrepreneurs who want to get into this space, agriculture or things that they can make for the farmers that can make their everyday life easier. What would your message be to them?
Definitely go ahead with that, because your contribution, however small or big that may be, it helps the farmer or the end user. And our country, since it is growing, it needs a lot of such small interventions to make it a big impact.
Correct.
Over the time.
Correct.
Journey can be tough, but it's worth enjoying it.
Do you want to say that again? The journey can be tough. I will also repeat, the journey will be tough.
The journey will be tough, definitely, but it's worth the roads traveled.
Correct. Finally, if Nakul and his co-founders were supposed to be asked, what is your vision, right? How do you see you reaching that vision?
I'll tell you a story before directly jumping onto this. One of the reasons where we saw that they actually need shoes, we went to a village nearby and we saw that people were walking in the bushes and they asked us to follow. And we were reluctant. By then we had not decided that we are working on the footwear, but we were reluctant, saying that it's bushy. how can you walk? And they were to barefoot. And we said, but इसमें सांप होगा. They said, हाँ, there are snakes around. See, he has bitten, snake has bitten him, somebody, they know. So in rural area, everyone has someone who has
Been
encountered.
bitten by a snake or the other.
So this, by then only we decided we'll work on this problem sooner or later. Since it's a difficult challenge, we initially thought we'll first address their basic needs. Basic needs being usability of a footwear,
all-weather kind of a footwear first.
and then more protection is required where there are more encounters with the snake. So our vision is to create a shoe that stops snake bites,
Wonderful.
or rather that protects them from snake bites.
Wonderful.
Because in most of the scenarios there has been either of the two solutions. Either they kill the snake or snake kills the person.
That's the sad reality. Yeah.
We do not want any of that to happen. India has around 50,000 snake bites, 1 million snake bites every year, out of which 50,000 die and 4 lakh amputations are done.
4 lakh amputations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Out of 10 lakhs, 4 lakh serious amputations.
Wow.
Which might affect their employment also.
Correct, absolutely, and which can be avoidable in your view.
So and in most of the cases, in 80% of the cases, it is below the knee. So that's where we think that this farmer shoe is just the start. We want to create a shoe that protects farmers from the snake bites. So that's our vision, and with this endeavor, we want to impact at least 1 million farmer in the next 10 years.
The 10 years. I really wish that you achieve that sooner than later. All the best to you and to your co-founders. You're doing a tremendous job. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thanks.